News Channel 5 Network. This is Morning Line with Nick Beres.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Morning Line. I'm Nick Beres here on a Tuesday. All right, this morning we're going to talk about the affairs of, I guess, the crown jewel in the state of Tennessee, and that would be the city of Nashville. As we know, there's all kinds of things happening here, and the city council has its hands in so much. And from what I understand, the city council meeting tonight on the agenda, I guess it's a 52-page agenda? 50? How many pages? Well, we'll find out. It's busy, and that's why the Vice Mayor, Jim Shulman, is with us this morning, as he is a regular guest on this show. Did you say, I'm sorry, did you say 52? It's more than 50 pages.
It's 52 if you count the blank page in the back.
But
it's 51 pages long.
Typically, hey, the meetings are always kind of long, up to 30 pages of different things to discuss. But this is a long one, and there's a lot of key stuff you guys will be talking about. River Chase and affordable housing and the like. Set the table for us, and let's go into some of the different ones. And by the way, we'll open up the phone lines if you want to sound off on some of this as we go through it or ask questions about the city. What do we got on the table today?
It's 133 pieces of legislation that we'll be covering.
Wow.
51 pages. We start at 6:30, and we'll just plow right through. Now, it's a first meeting of the month. It's a public hearing on a number of zoning bills, so we got those coming up first.
Now, what do you mean by that? Just so folks understand how the process works. Public hearing, there's zoning, people asking for things that they'd like to do with property here or there, questions about it. And this is a chance for everyone, whether you object or support it, to go there, go before you and say why you feel that way.
Yeah, if you've ever watched a council meeting, Nick, we do this the first meeting of every month except for June because of the budget. People come in. This is where there's a zoning change. People want to change something regarding their zoning. And we have a public hearing. So you'll hear me call out the bill. I'll refer to the sponsor. And the sponsor will say either, I need to defer or please open the public meeting. And then I'll say, show of hands of those who are here in favor. Show of hands of those who are in opposition. And if there are people here who want to speak, then they're allowed to come up. 2 minutes.
How does that work? Timetable? How long do you let them go?
Yeah, we usually start with those in favor. They state their name, address, and then they've got 2 minutes to tell us what the concern is. Okay. And then we do it for both sides, and then we close the public hearing and go on. The main bill up tonight, the one that's getting the most attention on public hearing, is River Chase, which is a development over off of Dickerson Pike. Right next to the Salvation Army. And that one has been deferred 5 times because there's some type of ongoing discussions about the affordability. You've got a developer that's come in and has bought the whole property. A number of people, everybody's had to get off the property. They want to redevelop it. There's a question about how they're going to do it. They've added a piece of affordability into it, which is really, really good. But I think there's still discussions going on. We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, there's all kinds of issues. We've done some stories on it. And again, you can give a picture of just the type of debate that comes up with these redevelopment issues. All right, so you got a developer comes in, buys this property. There were some questions about some complaining it's going to be too high and it's going to obscure our view, and limits on that. Others saying, look, you can build this, and if they're buying it, a lot of times they're going to make it more upscale, right? People have to be moved out, and the talk was, can you provide some affordable units for those who had to move out, being able financially to move back in? And those are the kind of things being worked out. So is it still a negotiation stage, or what do you expect to hear tonight?
Well, we'll find out. So the developer, there's all kinds of formulas that go into this stuff, as you know. They're saying that they have done as much as they can in terms of providing affordability to a certain part of the project. They have been, at least what they say is that they've been working pretty hard to get this thing all worked out. They're willing to make some of this affordable, which is really good because we have a lot of developers come in and just buy a piece of property, kick everybody off, and then build whatever they want.
I've seen that happen a lot.
So here comes a developer that says, okay, we've got a model, we're willing to do some affordability. They've been working with a number of groups in town, but something is holding this one up, either, and I'm not sure what it is, whether people, we were getting some emails last night from people saying it's not enough. Well, the problem that you get into with this one is the developers have said, we've been working on this for a long time. If we can't, look, if this one doesn't work, they can do what they want with the property, which is to build a lot of very expensive homes, and they can go that way.
So that's why I was going to ask you, though, how is that? I mean, so you said in this case you have a developer, and good for this developer being open to maybe wanting to help for some more affordable housing. What role can, the council, I mean, how can you leverage, this is what we want you to do, but why do they bother if they can do it anyway? What's the fuss here? I mean, people can complain, but if it's okay under whatever the charter or the zoning rules, they can do whatever the heck they want, right?
Well, here's again, the tricky part with all this. So sometimes a developer comes in and says, okay, I've got this piece of property. I can't do what I really want to regardless.
Okay.
They can, just like you can buy a piece of property, and you can do, when you buy that piece of property, you can do what the zoning regulations say.
Right, it's in there already.
Yeah, these developers apparently can build a lot of very expensive homes. They can build like 250 or more very expensive homes on that corner. But what they proposed was, we want to build a lot more. We want to build, I don't know, 1,000 units or whatever and tie them all together. And some of those are going to be affordable. We're going to make it so that it's affordable.
But they have to have a change in the zoning ordinance to be allowed to do 1,000 homes or whatever, right?
Right. So the question is, they can either do something right now and come up with a plan and do what they want to.
And still make their money building just a few of the expensive houses.
Or they can do this more complicated
thing.
They'll
probably make more money in the long run.
Well, I don't know. I mean, again, there's formulas involved in with stuff. But in this case, they have worked with groups, and part of that, not all of it, but a certain percentage of it is going to be affordable housing.
Okay.
That's what we need in this city. So depending on what happens tonight, we either have a project that's going forward after public hearing that has a piece of affordable housing in it, or the developers have, I think, the right, based upon what I understand, to do what they want.
You would think before they chose to purchase this property, they probably did their research and realized at the very least we know we can do this. Now, if we can seek to change the zoning, we can do more. If that fails, we know only an idiot would go buy that property without looking into that first.
Right.
So they've already kind of put that in. But you're right about affordable housing. That's the issue. I've seen it in Nashville. I've seen it in Murfreesboro, other places. First of all, we know there's more people because of the cost of living that need affordable housing, but it's like affordable housing is also disappearing. You have these developers coming in, buying some of these older, and maybe in some cases more run-down places, but folks have been living there for years, paying a certain rent. They buy them, they say, all right, we're giving you your 30-day notice. You're gone, and then they're going to go in and redo everything and just jack the prices up to a luxury condo unit.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, I know some of these homeless advocates that are working with people trying to get them into dwellings. Those are what they would look for, and those are gone now, disappearing left and right. And I understand it's a cash cow for a developer. Buy this cheap kind of rundown property, kick them out, build it up, make it fancy, and then charge triple for someone to move in.
Yeah, so we need affordable housing in Nashville.
So how do you stop that, though? It's the American way. They're buying it up. I mean, I guess zoning can say, look, no, we're going to say you cannot do that here. That's just
again, in this case, in this particular situation, they can do a certain thing with the property.
No, it's already there. Right.
But in other places, you've got the zoning which doesn't allow for that. And I think there's a couple of different ways to deal with it. Inclusionary zoning is one, but we're not allowed to do that in Davidson County. The legislature has stopped us from doing it. Inclusionary zoning says, look, if you're going to build a certain number of units, a certain percentage of those have to be affordable. Okay. Other cities have it, like New York and other places, where, again, they have to figure this stuff out. But if they are going to build a certain number of units, again, part of those have to be affordable. Okay, so you kind of put that on them to make sure that we've got. And that's been
prohibited now under state law?
Yeah, we can't do that. I think you could cover some of it with maybe specific zoning, but you have to get in front of it. You have to be able to look at a whole picture of the city and go, okay, in my area, this is an obvious piece of property that somebody's going to try to go get. So what you try to do is put in a zone over a lot of different pieces, or a neighborhood that says, look, this is what we want the neighborhood to look like, and we're going to protect it up front before a developer comes in and starts buying homes and saying, and the distinction there is that all you're trying to do is protect it. You can always change it. But if you get a zone over a whole area of property with houses and say, this is what we want, the neighbors determine what the neighborhood looks like, not a developer coming in and buying it.
Do you think it'll get heated tonight? It does sometimes in public comment.
What you're looking for here, and it got a little heated last time, not too bad, but we just have to figure out whether we're having a public hearing on it tonight. So it's been deferred 5 times. It's up again tonight. I know there are council members that want to get it heard tonight, but there may be council members that don't want to get it heard tonight. So the key will be, it's up front, it's right at the beginning of the calendar.
Can you explain why we continue to postpone it? Why would a council member not want it heard?
For various reasons. One is that the neighborhood is not ready, or there are people who are still not sure, or they think their continued negotiations might lead to something else. The concern here is, has the developer had enough? And the developer just says, look, we've been working on this for a long time, and we just want to get moving. And, you know, we have another option on this one. And if we don't, you know, if you don't want to do it this way, then we have another option. We'll do it
that just makes you wonder that the folks who are against it, or, you know, advocating for more affordable housing, have to realize we may have to take some of what they're offering. It may not be everything we want, because the alternative is he could just say, or she could say, I don't know, we're not doing that at all. We're building luxury homes, which is going to be out of the price of everyone almost. Sorry, we have a right to do that and move on. I mean, that's kind of where you have to decide.
Well, we'd love for the whole thing to be affordable housing. Sometimes we may not be able to get that, but so we want affordable housing.
Yeah, a little maybe. So we'll have to work
see. We'll see what happens.
We'll take a break. As always, we'll take some phone calls, and when we come back, if you wouldn't mind, maybe just kind of setting the table on some of the other key items on the agenda, and we can talk more about the issue of affordable housing in Metro Nashville, which is just nuts, you know, how it's going to work out. So join us. This is Jim Shulman. He is the Vice Mayor in the great city of Nashville, and proud of it. And I'm proud to have him on the show today. We're going to be back. More of our conversation with him right after this.